Hello everybody, welcome back to the Fashion Rack. What do we need more of in our lives?
Money? Money.
Easy upcycles without sewing machine.
Hear me out. With today's designer-inspired upcycle, we're actually gonna save a lot of money.
We're doing a little bit more festive, holiday, Christmas-themed outfits. We're gonna upcycle a blazer.
This puffer coat from the brand Off-White brought me to the idea to add white hand stitching. Later, whilst editing, I found out they actually also have a blazer, tongue-in-cheek, just from the tailor look. It emulates this kind of basting stitching that is normally used in production. And when I opened the image on Pinterest, the algorithm, what's the algorithm, man? Not quite as unique and original as I originally thought.
End of the year, we're kind of working through a lot of stuff from past. I think the camera is sagging. Forgive me, everything is sort of broken in my setup. I'll just do it like this. The idea is that it's going to be super simple and quick and everyone can do it without a sewing machine. I think this is gonna be one of the shortest tutorials ever unless I keep talking like this. So let's grab your needle, grab some nice cotton yarn. Or whatever yarn you have, but a little bit of a nice thick one, I'd say.
A few inches later.
Oh yeah, buttonholes. Almost forgot, there's buttonholes in the blazer, so you will probably not want to go further from the edge than the buttonhole. You don't want to go over the buttonhole and not be able to close it anymore.
Choose a stitch and stitch length that matches your vibe. I'm going more for this chunky, messy stitching. Matching my messy vibe, but you can see a more neat and small stitching has a totally different aura and does make it look really more like a just from the tailor kind of situation. You're halfway through and you're thinking, well, that's not really what I envisioned. This is so easy peasy, quick and breezy. You can just pull it out and start over. And if easy peasy, quick and breezy isn't easy peasy, quick and breezy enough for you, you can actually load up the fabric onto the needle, pulling it a couple of times around this. I know it looks a little bit aggressive, that's because it is. Not the neatest way. For a little more messy madness, it was.
Oh yes. Using a lot of these kind of yarns in the last few weeks. Let me know in the comments for the next year, what's your favorite kind of video? Would you prefer more sewing machine upcycles again, or more hand sewing, texturing, textiles and fabric manipulation kind of stuff? Let me know. I'm always curious what it is, what you guys prefer to see.
If you want to hide your knot, simply knot the yarn off at the back side of the lapel or collar, but I'm gonna just do it on the front, using the same hand sewing techniques as in the mod back tutorial that by now we all watched. Don't tell me you still didn't watch it. Making sure to leave a little loop so that I can pull my thread through there and really create more of a knot. Usually I always do this at least 2 times, but if you find that ugly, on this occasion you might get away with 1 knot, as it's just more of a decorative stitch anyway. Starting off a new yarn, I just make 2 cute little knots on top of each other at the end of the yarn. And start where the new stitch would be. This time I decided to knot it off on the back side so that it won't get too messy all in one place. And I didn't really anchor it down, I guess you could. We're being a little less paranoid than normally. This stitch is just gonna sit there. Not gonna do much. #waterlife. And then I wanted to make sure that actually in the corner I would end with a stitch and not with a gap. Also begin in the corner again with a stitch, so that the corner becomes really nice and defined. Loading the fabric over the needle a couple of times kind of strategy might actually help to be able to control whether you would end with a stitch in the corner. And if not, just being able to really easily adjust your stitches accordingly. And yes, the stitches are kind of getting bigger and bigger and bigger there in the corner, but that is a choice. You have to make it work.
Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do.
It's better to have the stitches even a little bit seemingly too loose, because then when you pull and do this, drop over it, they will straighten out. The power of a cotton thread, straight hand stitch.
And it would not be a hand sewing project without the
power, the pain, the blood, the sweat, the tears.
Then I'm also gonna add some stitches below the pockets, starting with a stitch in the corner again. We are not, and I repeat, we are not closing the pockets, okay? In fashion, pockets are holy. Not only because they make your life a bazillion times easier, but also provide the ability to give your posture a certain fashionable je ne sais quoi. Okay, I remember this video to be the perfect example of laid-back je ne sais quoi vibes. Turns out it's the exact opposite. A perfect case study. What happens when people's shirts are too long so they can't enter their pockets? Don't tell me that doesn't look stupid. No pockets, no vibe. Point proven. Lastly, I did the splits in the cuffs, more because I also wanted to have the backside to stitching too. Not the biggest fan how it interacted with the buttons though. And I go along the middle back seam. But you want to prevent attaching the lining to the outer fabric. This might cause some unflattering pulling. I made a temporary opening at the hem, just make sure to attach it back in the exact same way. But honestly, if you're knotting off on the outside, you can also just pull the two layers apart. And be careful to not sew them together without opening the bottom.
If you want a really deconstructed rough around the edge look, and that is if you stitched well with your hand stitching, you can open the sides, spray it out with a seam ripper, I don't know, nail file, try what works. But I feel like in the grand scheme of things, good thing about leaving it is that this is still reversible. So if you get sick of this kind of, ooh, I look like I just walked out of the store blazer, you can simply remove the hand stitches and have a new blazer. Woo! Well guys, I think I might have lied. This tank top bag, I mean, what screams more Christmas than this? But that might have been the easiest one ever. But this blazer certainly is the second easiest upcycle I ever did. Don't forget to do your good deeds. You know, I mean subscribing to my channel, liking the video for the algorithm, commenting for the algorithm. Thank you to my Patreon. Thank you everyone who has supported my channel this year and shared videos and commented. I appreciate it a lot. I hope you have the best Christmas ever, and if not, it's only today. You will survive. Might do a recap of last year. Let me know if you're interested to know the good, the bad, and the ugly of last year's upcycle, so that you will not make the same mistakes that I did. Thank you so much for your continuing support, and I'm not getting emotional now. I'm looking too pretty for that, okay? For more elaborate hand stitching, check out the Shashiko embroidery tutorial, or get off social media and do something with your life. Something friendly for Christmas. And if you're already subscribed, check if you have the notifications on so that you will be notified of my new videos. Yeah, that's all checked off your checklist, to-do list. You're done for the year. You've done the most important, but please like the video.